She was the girl who jumped rope under the glow of studio lights, a child who grew up faster than the cameras could focus, the face of a childhood many adored, and the woman who never stopped trying to grow up in front of the world. Tonight, the applause is hers. Drew Barrymore, after 40 years of hope, heartbreak, and quiet resilience, finally wins her first Daytime Emmy. The room stands, but for her, time stands still. There's a hush before the name. Then it happens. Drew Barrymore. The sound of victory, the echo of every headline, every doubt, every comeback she's ever had to live through. From the beginning, it was never ordinary. She was Hollywood's golden child, discovered in a world that applauded youth but rarely protected it. At just 11 years old, she became a global name, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. One of cinema's most magical films, and she was its beating heart. That wide-eyed girl with the spark that outshone her age became the center of an empire she couldn't yet understand. But behind the smiles and the fame, there were fractures forming. The pressures of fame came early, the loss of childhood anonymity, the cameras that never turned off. Rebellion became her shield, redemption her second language. Hollywood tried to write her story for her, but she kept picking up the pen. And when she launched The Drew Barrymore Show in 2020, the whispers began again. Could she do it? Could the girl who grew up on screen transform into the woman leading one? In an age of chaos and curated perfection, she chose honesty. No walls, no armor, just warmth, laughter, and messy authenticity. As she walked into the Pasadena Civic Auditorium on October 17, 2025, the air felt charged. It wasn't just another awards night. For Drew, it was the closing of a loop, the return of a story decades in the making. She was nominated again, but this time the feeling was different. There was calm in her eyes. Against a powerhouse lineup, Kelly Clarkson, Jennifer Hudson, Kelly Ripa, and Mark Consuelos, she was still the one everyone was watching. Because win or lose, her name carried something deeper than competition. It carried endurance. Then came the moment. The envelope opened. Her name was read aloud. But she wasn't in the audience. There was no spotlight, no walk to the stage. Instead, she sat hundreds of miles away in her production suite in New York. The cameras weren't rolling. Her daughters were beside her. Her team, speechless. The moment hit, a lifetime compressed into a single heartbeat. Laughter, tears, disbelief. And that was so perfectly Drew. No red carpet, no glittering stage. Just a woman surrounded by the people who matter most, finally letting go of decades of expectation. For years, she'd joked that she felt embarrassed to tell her daughters about losing at past award shows, that she didn't want to build hope that always seemed to fall just short. But tonight, she didn't have to explain anything. They were there. They saw it happen. Her show, The Drew Barrymore Show, had always been an act of rebellion disguised as daytime television. While others chased polished celebrity interviews, she built connection. She turned conversation into therapy, confession into community. She wasn't performing, she was healing, one laugh at a time. Her Emmy isn't just a win. It's an unspoken apology from an industry that once broke her and later learned from her. It's a nod to every person who's ever had to rebuild their life under the same lights that once burned them. At 50, she holds the gold not as validation, but as proof. Proof that second acts can become the defining chapters, that a child star can outgrow her label, that a woman can be soft, flawed, and still powerful beyond measure. Because Drew Barrymore never just returned to Hollywood, she redefined what it means to belong there. She built a space for empathy in a world that profits from perfection. She showed that vulnerability is strength, and that smiling through pain doesn't make it disappear. It makes it human. So tonight, as the lights dim and the applause fades, her story remains. The story of a girl who refused to let anyone else end her movie. She stumbled, she fell, she laughed, she rebuilt. And she came back, not as a headline, but as herself. Here's to Drew Barrymore, the girl who never stopped believing in new beginnings. The woman who kept turning pain into art, heartbreak into laughter, and life into something worth filming. Tonight, after 40 years of being everyone's favourite comeback, she's not a survivor anymore. She's a winner. And for once, the world isn't asking if she'd ever get here. They're simply watching, smiling, and whispering finally.